Welcome to our journey through the ancient history of Greek mythology, a world where gods and heroes, monsters and mortals come alive in epic tales. Today, we'll explore the fascinating realm of Greek mythology, stories that have shaped the culture and beliefs of ancient Greece for millennia. Our journey begins with the creation myths, explaining how the cosmos and the gods themselves came into being from primordial chaos. Mount Olympus, the majestic abode of the Olympian gods, where Zeus reigns supreme and divine decrees shape the fate of humanity. Zeus, the king of the gods, wielding his powerful thunderbolt, commands the skies and maintains order among gods and men. Poseidon, god of the sea, controls the oceans and earthquakes with his mighty trident, making him a revered and feared deity. Hades, ruler of the underworld, oversees the realm of the dead, a shadowy world where souls find their final rest. Athena, the wise and courageous goddess of wisdom and warfare, embodies the ideals of strategic combat and intellectual pursuits. Heracles, known for his incredible strength and heroic feats, undertakes the 12 labors, a series of nearly impossible tasks. Odysseus, the cunning hero, faces mythical creatures and divine challenges on his perilous journey home. Greek mythology starts with creation myths, explaining the origins of the cosmos and gods. In the beginning, there was only chaos, a formless void. From this primordial void emerged Gaia, the earth, a nurturing and life-giving force. Gaia united with Uranus, the sky, and together they formed a union that would give birth to the first generation of gods. Their children, the Titans, were powerful beings who would play crucial roles in the cosmos. Among them was Cronus, the youngest and most ambitious. Cronus, driven by ambition and fear, overthrew his father Uranus, seizing control of the universe. To prevent his own children from overthrowing him, Cronus devoured each one at birth, a dark and desperate attempt to maintain his power. However, Rhea, Cronus's wife, saved their youngest son, Zeus, by hiding him away and tricking Cronus with a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes. Zeus grew up in secret, nurtured by nymphs and protected from his father's wrath. When he came of age, Zeus confronted Cronus, determined to free his siblings and take his rightful place as king of the gods. Zeus led a rebellion against Cronus, a cataclysmic battle that would decide the fate of the cosmos. The war between the Titans and the Olympian gods was fierce and destructive, shaking the very foundations of the earth. Armed with his mighty thunderbolt, Zeus fought bravely, his power and determination shining through in the chaos of battle. Poseidon, Zeus's brother and god of the sea, joined the fight, wielding his trident and unleashing the fury of the oceans. Hades, the god of the underworld, also played a crucial role, using his helm of darkness to become invisible and strike their enemies from the shadows. After a long and brutal war, the Olympians emerged victorious. Cronus and the Titans were defeated and imprisoned in Tartarus, a deep abyss. With the Titans vanquished, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades drew lots to divide the realms among themselves. Zeus became the ruler of the sky, Poseidon the ruler of the sea, and Hades the ruler of the underworld. Mount Olympus became the center of divine power, where the gods would gather to discuss matters of the universe and intervene in the lives of mortals. Each god had their own domain and responsibilities, creating a divine family that governed various aspects of the world and human life. Hera, Zeus's wife and queen of the gods, was the goddess of marriage and childbirth, often portrayed as a protector of women. Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, ensured the fertility of the earth and the cycle of the seasons, providing sustenance for mortals. Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, symbolized the home and family, her presence essential for the warmth and unity of domestic life. Athena, the daughter of Zeus, was the goddess of wisdom, warfare, and crafts, embodying strategic warfare and intellectual prowess. Apollo, the god of the sun, music, and prophecy, brought light and knowledge to the world, inspiring artists and guiding seers. Artemis, Apollo's twin sister, was the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth, protector of young women and wild animals. Hermes, the swift-footed messenger of the gods, facilitated communication between the divine and mortal realms, guiding souls to the underworld. After defeating Cronus, Zeus established his rule on Mount Olympus, home of the Olympian gods. Zeus, the king of the gods, wielded his powerful thunderbolt and governed the skies and weather, ensuring order among both gods and humans. Hera, Zeus's wife and the queen of the gods, was the goddess of marriage and family. She often protected women and was known for her jealous and vengeful nature. Poseidon, the god of the sea, commanded all bodies of water and was also known to cause earthquakes, earning him the title Earthshaker. Hades, the ruler of the underworld, oversaw the realm of the dead. He was a stern but fair god who rarely left his dark domain. Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and the harvest, was responsible for the fertility of the earth and the cycle of the seasons. Hestia, the goddess of the hearth and home, was the embodiment of domesticity and family. Her presence was essential in every household. Athena, born from Zeus's forehead, was the goddess of wisdom, warfare, and crafts. She was a strategic warrior and a patroness of cities, most notably Athens. Apollo, the god of the sun, music, and prophecy, brought light and inspiration. He was also a healer and a bringer of plague. Artemis, Apollo's twin sister, was the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth. She protected young girls and wild animals. Ares, the god of war, represented the brutal and violent aspects of conflict. He was often depicted as a fierce and fearsome warrior. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, was born from the sea foam. She had the power to make anyone fall in love with her irresistible charm. Hermes, the messenger of the gods, was the god of travel, trade, and thievery. He was swift and clever, often depicted with winged sandals and a caduceus. Hephaestus, the god of blacksmiths and fire, was the craftsman of the gods. Despite his physical imperfections, he created magnificent weapons and armor. Dionysus, the god of wine, festivity, and theater, brought joy and madness. He was a patron of the arts and often depicted with a cup of wine. Athena was not only a warrior, but also a teacher of crafts. She taught weaving, pottery, and other skills to humans, enhancing their civilization. Apollo was also the god of prophecy, and his oracle at Delphi was the most famous. People from all over Greece came to seek his divine guidance. Artemis, often accompanied by nymphs, was an avid huntress. She roamed the forests and mountains, protecting wildlife and maintaining natural balance. Aphrodite, often seen with her son Eros, the god of love, influenced romantic affairs among gods and mortals alike. Hermes had the unique role of guiding souls to the underworld. As a psychopomp, he ensured the safe passage of the deceased to Hades' realm. Hephaestus's creations were highly prized by the gods. He forged Zeus's thunderbolts, Poseidon's trident, and many other powerful artifacts. Dionysus's followers celebrated in backsheet processions, where music, dance, and ecstatic rituals were performed to honor the god of wine and revelry. Although both gods of war, Ares and Athena, often clashed. Ares represented brute force and chaos, while Athena embodied strategic warfare and wisdom. Demeter's love for her daughter Persephone created the cycle of the seasons. Persephone's annual return from the underworld marked the arrival of spring. Hestia's sacred flame was kept alive in every home and temple, symbolizing the stability and warmth of family life. Zeus presided over the council of gods, ensuring harmony and balance. Under his leadership, the Olympian gods governed the cosmos and interacted with mortals. Greek mythology is rich with stories of heroes whose incredible strength, bravery, and intelligence have captivated audiences for millennia. One of the most famous is Heracles, known for his 12 labors. Among his labors, Heracles faced the fearsome Hydra, a serpent-like creature with multiple heads that regrew when severed. Heracles was tasked with capturing the golden hind, a sacred deer of Artemis, known for its incredible speed and agility. He also captured the Erymanthian boar, a giant beast that terrorized the region. In one of his more ingenious labors, Heracles cleaned the Augean stables, which housed thousands of cattle, by rerouting rivers to wash them out in a single day. Heracles pursued the Ceryneian hind for a year, finally capturing it without harming the sacred animal. Another labor involved driving away the Stymphalian birds, man-eating creatures with metallic feathers. Heracles captured the Cretan bull, which was wreaking havoc on the island of Crete. Heracles obtained the girdle of Hippolyta, the Amazonian queen, through a combination of diplomacy and combat. He also herded the cattle of Geryon, a fearsome giant with 3 bodies. Heracles retrieved the golden apples of the Hesperides, which were guarded by a dragon. Heracles' final labor was to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed guard dog of the underworld, and bring him to the surface. Another legendary hero is Odysseus, whose long journey home after the Trojan War is chronicled in Homer's epic, the Odyssey. He famously had himself tied to the mast of his ship to resist the siren's song. Odysseus used his wits to escape from the Cyclops Polyphemus, blinding the giant to secure their freedom. Navigating between Scylla and Charybdis, Odysseus showed his leadership and decision-making skills by steering his ship through these deadly perils. On the island of Aaa, Odysseus encountered the enchantress Circe, who transformed his men into animals. With the help of Hermes, he managed to save them. Odysseus's journey also took him to the underworld, where he sought the wisdom of the prophet Tiresias to find his way home. Jason's quest for the Golden Fleece is another epic tale, where he led the Argonauts on a perilous journey across the seas. In Colchis, Jason sowed dragons' teeth into the ground, from which sprang armed warriors. With the help of Medea, he overcame this challenge. Perseus, another celebrated hero, embarked on a quest to slay Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze could turn men to stone. After beheading Medusa, Perseus saved Andromeda, who was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. Theseus, the prince of Athens, volunteered to enter the labyrinth and slay the Minotaur, using a ball of thread to find his way back out. With his cunning and bravery, Theseus successfully defeated the Minotaur, freeing Athens from its tribute to King Minos of Crete. Bellerophon, with the help of the winged horse Pegasus, defeated the Chimera, a fire-breathing monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. Atalanta, a renowned huntress, joined the Caledonian boar hunt and was the first to wound the ferocious beast, earning her a place among the greatest heroes. Orpheus, a legendary musician, ventured into the underworld to retrieve his wife Eurydice. His enchanting music softened the hearts of Hades and Persephone, who allowed her to return to the living world. Greek mythology is filled with tales of love and tragedy, often intertwined by the whims of the gods. Eros, or Cupid, the god of love, played a significant role in many of these stories with his magical arrows. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, fell deeply in love with the mortal Adonis. Their love story, however, ended in tragedy when Adonis was killed by a wild boar. Persephone's abduction by Hades is a tale of both love and sorrow. Hades, smitten by her beauty, took her to the underworld, causing her mother Demeter to plunge the world into an eternal winter. Orpheus and Eurydice's love was so profound that Orpheus ventured into the underworld to bring her back to life. His music moved Hades and Persephone, who allowed Eurydice to follow him back to the living world. However, Orpheus's doubt led him to look back at Eurydice before they reached the surface, causing her to vanish forever, a heartbreaking end to their love story. Pygmalion, a talented sculptor, fell in love with the statue he had created. Moved by his devotion, Aphrodite brought the statue, named Galatea, to life, uniting them in love. Apollo's pursuit of the nymph Daphne ended in tragedy when she prayed to her father for help and was transformed into a laurel tree to escape Apollo's advances. Echo, a nymph cursed to repeat only the last words spoken to her, fell in love with Narcissus, who was enchanted by his own reflection. Their love was unrequited, leading to their mutual despair. The love story of Psyche and Eros is one of trials and triumphs. Psyche's curiosity led her to see Eros's true form, causing him to flee and leaving her to face numerous challenges to reunite with him. Pyramus and Thisbe, star-crossed lovers whose tragic end inspired Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, spoke through a crack in the wall that separated their homes. Believing Thisbe to be dead after finding her bloody veil, Pyramus took his own life, and Thisbe, upon finding him, followed suit, sealing their fate in death. Selene, the moon goddess, fell in love with the mortal Endymion. She asked Zeus to grant him eternal sleep so she could visit him every night without him aging. Arachne, a talented weaver who challenged Athena, was transformed into a spider as a punishment for her hubris, a tale warning against pride and disrespect for the gods. Apollo's love for the mortal Hyacinthus ended in tragedy when a discus throw accidentally killed Hyacinthus. In his grief, Apollo transformed him into the hyacinth flower. Philemon and Baucis, an elderly couple who showed exceptional hospitality to Zeus and Hermes, were rewarded by being transformed into trees that stood side by side for eternity. Ariadne, who helped Theseus escape the labyrinth, was abandoned by him on the island of Naxos, only to be found and wed by the god Dionysus. Thetis, a sea nymph, dipped her son Achilles into the river Styx to make him invulnerable, except for his heel, which she held him by, leading to his eventual downfall. Clytemnestra's vengeance against her husband Agamemnon for sacrificing their daughter Iphigenia resulted in a tragic cycle of revenge and murder within their family. Niobe, who boasted about her numerous children, faced a devastating tragedy when Apollo and Artemis killed all her offspring as punishment for her pride. Medea's love for Jason turned into a vengeful fury when he abandoned her for another woman, leading her to commit horrific acts to punish him. The love affair between Paris and Helen led to the Trojan War, a 10-year conflict that brought immense suffering and tragedy to both sides. Achilles' profound grief over the death of his beloved friend Patroclus drove him to a vengeful rage, changing the course of the Trojan War. Oedipus, unknowingly fulfilling a prophecy that he would kill his father and marry his mother, faced a tragic fate when the truth was revealed by the blind prophet Tiresias. Icarus's hubris led him to fly too close to the sun with wings made of wax and feathers, resulting in his tragic fall into the sea. Sisyphus, punished by the gods for his deceit, was condemned to eternally push a boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down each time he neared the top. Pandora, out of curiosity, opened a forbidden box, releasing all the evils into the world but also leaving hope inside, a poignant tale of the human condition. In Greek mythology, many monsters and mythical creatures pose challenges to gods and heroes alike. Cerberus, the three-headed dog, guarded the gates of the underworld, preventing the dead from leaving. The Minotaur, a fearsome creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull, resided in the labyrinth on the island of Crete, where it devoured anyone who dared to enter. Medusa, one of the three Gorgons, had snakes for hair and a gaze that turned anyone who looked at her into stone. She was eventually slain by the hero Perseus. The Chimera, a fire-breathing monster with the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a serpent, terrorized the lands until it was defeated by the hero Bellerophon. The Lernaean Hydra, a serpent-like creature with multiple heads that regrew when severed, was defeated by Heracles during one of his 12 labors. The Harpies, with the bodies of birds and the faces of women, were known for snatching away people and things, often serving as agents of punishment by the gods. The Sphinx posed a deadly riddle to travelers. Those who could not answer correctly met their doom. Oedipus famously solved her riddle, leading to her demise. The Cyclopes, giant one-eyed beings, were known for their great strength and craftsmanship. Polyphemus, one of the Cyclopes, was outwitted by Odysseus. The Sirens, with their enchanting music and voices, lured sailors to their doom on rocky shores. Odysseus famously resisted their song by having himself tied to the mast of his ship. The Nemean lion, whose hide was impervious to weapons, was slain by Heracles, who used its own claws to skin it. The Erinyes or Furies were deities of vengeance who relentlessly pursued those guilty of crimes, especially familial ones. The Griffin, a creature with the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle, was known for guarding treasures and sacred places. The Stymphalian birds, with their sharp metallic feathers and beaks, were driven away by Heracles during his labors. The Graeae, three sisters who shared one eye and one tooth, provided Perseus with crucial information on his quest to slay Medusa. The Centimanes, giants with 100 hands and 50 heads, were primordial beings who aided the Olympian gods in their battle against the Titans. Satyrs, with their human and goat-like features, were known for their love of revelry and often accompanied Dionysus, the god of war. The Gorgon sisters, Stheno, Euryale, and Medusa, were monstrous beings whose gaze could petrify anyone who looked upon them. Charybdis, a sea monster, created massive whirlpools that threatened to swallow entire ships. Odysseus had to navigate carefully between her and Scylla. Scylla, a six-headed monster, lived on a narrow strait opposite Charybdis, snatching sailors from ships that passed too close. The Manticore, a fearsome creature with a human head, a lion's body, and a scorpion's tail, was said to be nearly invincible. Heracles' capture of Cerberus from the underworld was one of his 12 labors, demonstrating his incredible strength and bravery. Nymphs, often associated with specific natural features like trees or springs, were beautiful female spirits known for their playful and nurturing nature. The Carcinos, a giant crab, assisted the Hydra in its battle against Heracles, but was ultimately crushed underfoot by the hero. The Lamia, once a beautiful queen, was transformed into a child-devouring monster by Hera, filled with rage and sorrow. Typhon, a monstrous giant with 100 serpent heads, was one of the deadliest creatures in Greek mythology and fathered many other monsters. The Sphinx of Thebes posed her riddle to all who passed, devouring those who failed to answer correctly. Her defeat by Oedipus brought an end to her reign of terror. Greek mythology has left an indelible mark on Western culture and civilization. The Parthenon, a symbol of ancient Greece, stands as a testament to the gods and goddesses worshipped by the Greeks. The stories of Greek mythology continue to be told and retold, capturing the imaginations of people through books, films, and art. The epic tales of the Trojan War, immortalized by Homer in the Iliad and Odyssey, illustrate the timeless themes of heroism, love, and betrayal. Artifacts and statues of Greek gods and goddesses are displayed in museums worldwide, preserving the legacy of ancient mythology for future generations. Greek mythology has also influenced the performing arts, inspiring countless plays, operas, and ballets that explore its rich narratives. Many constellations in the night sky are named after characters and creatures from Greek mythology, reminding us of these ancient stories whenever we gaze at the stars. Philosophers and scholars continue to study Greek myths, finding deeper meanings and insights into the human condition within these ancient tales. Even today, the stories of Greek mythology are introduced to children, teaching them about bravery, wisdom, and the complexities of human nature. The architectural influence of ancient Greece is evident in modern buildings and monuments, reflecting the enduring aesthetic of classical design. Greek mythology transcends time and culture, bringing people together to explore the myths that have shaped much of our world's art, literature, and philosophy.